Thanks for joining me again live, coming to you live from a bitterly cold American capital here in Washington, D.C. Thanks so much for joining me. The first full day of Donald Trump's second term. Did the sky fall in? Of course it didn't, but the lefties are still losing it. And of course, the American president did get up to some of his Trumpian ways. He held another press conference today. It was only an hour and 20 minutes or so late. He called it to announce billions of dollars of investment by private companies in artificial intelligence data centres that, of course, require so much electricity, they're going to need to quickly build additional generating capacity. This is something that's very important for Australia. This is a lesson that's crucial to the Australian energy debate. Donald Trump knows that the increased prices of electricity are fueling inflation, and he also knows that affordable, reliable energy is absolutely fundamental to underpin economic development, prosperity, innovation into the future. So this is something we need to learn here. But as usual, a Trump presser can go anywhere, and this one today did. And the president was asked about TikTok, the social media platform that has now been given the opportunity of a new lease of life under his presidency.
Are you open to Elon buying TikTok?
I would be if he wanted to buy it, yeah.
And on your inauguration,
I'd like Larry to buy it too. I have the right to make a deal.
There you go. I've got to say, I do not like this bromance between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. The most powerful man in the country shouldn't be constantly sharing the stage and an agenda with the richest businessman in the country. I do have a feeling that this could all end in tears. But has America changed today? Has anything happened? Well, yes, quite dramatically. There have been desperate changes on the Mexican border and reports of a steep decline in the inflow of illegal immigrants. Also, illegal immigrants in the country have been denied access to certain processes. And the border boss says there are moves afoot already on the streets to deport criminal illegals. That's begun with officers searching for them around the nation. Here he is.
Who are the people that you're targeting, at least in this initial phase?
Right out of the gate, public safety threats. Those who are in the country illegally that's been convicted or arrested for a serious crime. But let me be clear. It's not only public safety threats that will be arrested, because in sanctuary cities, we're not allowed to get that public safety threat in the jail, which means we got to go to the neighborhood and find him. And when we find him, he may be with others. And unlike the last administration, we're not going to tell ICE officers not to arrest an illegal alien. So if they find others, they'll be arrested.
This is another issue we understand all too well in Australia, isn't it? I mean, secure borders are fundamental to national sovereignty. You cannot protect your citizens, protect your country. You can't be a sovereign nation without secure borders. I thought we'd had this argument, the practical arguments around this. It's one of practicalities. It is one of security and sovereign rights, not one of morality. But someone forgot to tell the pastor speaking at the first service for the newly inaugurated president at the National Cathedral today.
In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals.
Just extraordinary virtue signalling, wasn't it? To a degree, I kind of admire her courage saying this stuff directly to the returned president's face, but the idiocy of it, the lack of comprehension and the sanctimony was just breathtaking. The left just don't seem to be getting it in this country. They haven't learned any lessons. It's all about denying what's going on and demonising Trump. Have a look at this excerpt here. some media commentators who are absolutely in denial.
So, yesterday, did something happen? Did something happen yesterday?
Yes, it was Martin Luther King Day.
Yes. That's a good one. Well, in addition to Martin Luther King Day, a certain person, Donald Trump, was sworn back into the White House as the 47th president.
They have got 4 more years of this and they are losing it. The hatred is palpable. Have a look at this.
He has decided to make good on his promise to be a dictator on day one.
There'll be a lawsuit over birthright citizenship. There'll be a lawsuit over suspending asylum. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
There were a lot of big lies there.
Been president for a grand total of 11 hours, and he wasted no time imposing his will on American government.
I was prepared for shock and awe. This is just shock and awful.
The executive orders on DEI in prisons, migrant shelters, as well as in spaces like rape shelters, that could mean that people that are transgender could be moved out of those spaces.
Look, this stuff, as you know, is just pathetic, but it's also self-defeating. We all know, we've seen this for a decade. It really is just wind beneath Donald Trump's wings. What the left, of course, need to do is examine their own failings, their policies, their personnel, and all the rest of it. But we'll leave them to all of that.